Okay, let's got things everywhere. All right, welcome, friends. Welcome. So glad to have you here. I appreciate you. I am live right now on Whatnot, but I am also live streaming to YouTube. So if you're joining me on YouTube, welcome. I appreciate you for being here. And I'm also live streaming to Facebook. So if you're joining and you're watching on Facebook as well, welcome. I appreciate you, friend, for being here. All right. So you are joining me for a coaching session on Whatnot. This is how to get more viewers and turn them into buyers organically. And this is specifically on the platform for Whatnot. So, again, if you're a Whatnot seller, I appreciate you for tuning in and for being here. And I hope that what I have to share with you, you'll get some perspective, you'll see things a little differently, and hopefully you can start taking action on what I'm showing you today and use that in your shows so that you can actually start getting some better results. Um, yeah, I appreciate you again for being here. Okay. So, if you're on Whatnot, you can take a look in the show notes. It kind of just tells you what I'm going to be talking about today. But today's topic is going to be how to get more viewers in your live shows um, without waiting on the algorithm. So, I'm going to be telling you about how to attract your own viewers, drive your own traffic, instead of just hoping that people show up, right? It's more so actually giving you real advice that you can actually, it's not just about boosting, it's not just about sharing your shows, it's about how you're doing these things, why you're doing these things, understanding that, and making it work for your business. Okay. I am going to go ahead and get started. I'm just making sure everybody can see me here on each platform. Okay, so the we've got three things that we're going to cover in this coaching session. The first one is direct promotion. How do you actually promote your shows to your potential viewers, your followers, and how to do it the right way? Then we're going to touch on how to network inside of Whatnot and why that's also important. Okay, because if you're not doing this, especially if you're a newer seller, you are missing out on you're missing out. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to touch on is how to expand your business so that you're not just relying on the platform. Because again, I've said this in a couple different coaching sessions before. A lot of sellers that I talk to, if I ask them, what is it that you do for a living? They say, I'm a whatnot seller, or I'm a Poshmark seller, or I sell on eBay, which is not what you do. Okay. You're an entrepreneur, you have a business, whatever that business is, and you're using these platforms as tools to get customers to your business and sell your products. So once you flip your mindset and understand that you're not a whatnot seller or a Poshmark seller, you're using these platforms to build your business. Once you get that perspective, things are it's like it's almost like a you were wearing shades and then you take the shades off. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of see a little bit clearer now. I get it. Okay. So I want you to come from that perspective moving forward. Okay. So, let's get started. So, we're gonna first talk about. Oh, and then this is a Q&A session also, but I'm going to do my coaching first. I'm going to talk about what I want to share with you. And then if you have any questions or anything, I'll open that up towards the end. So I won't really be answering any questions throughout, but if you have something, just keep it with you. Go ahead. You can write down any questions that you have. And then at the end, I will answer them. And if we have time, I'll also pull a couple people on stage, on camera, and we'll have a little deep dive. I'll go through your profile and see how I can help you in real time right now. Okay. All right. So let's get this party started. All right. So, um, the first thing we're talking about is direct promotion. How do you invite people into your live shows? Now, first of all, let me tell you who I am. My name is Lamore Vial. I'm the owner of Lamore Fashions, and I've been a live seller for over 3 years, closer to 4 years. It's getting closer to 4 years now. But besides that, I have a background in marketing, event planning, and entertainment over 2, 3 decades. So I've been doing that part pretty much my whole life. And then as a live seller now, I started seeing these patterns that pertain to event planning, marketing, and entertainment. And so I've used those skills that I have and, uh, put it into the live selling world. And it's this is an amazing thing that I feel like I've unlocked. And so I want to share it with you guys because the sellers I do come in contact with, we all started with this general idea, right? I just want to get on the platform because pretty much my reason was I saw other people doing it. I was curious. I said, let me try it out. And then I got hooked. It was like, okay, I don't mind live selling, but there's no real manual. There's nobody who tells you this is what you need to do. This is why you're doing it. And so I really, for the it's almost been a year now, I've been studying different successful businesses and what makes them successful and why they're successful on and off of this platform. So I've studied businesses here on Whatnot, as well as on YouTube and businesses who do things on Facebook and Instagram and just all the way around. And there's a pattern. Okay. So what I noticed, first of all, anybody who live streams, if you're a live seller, when people are sharing their invitation code or when people are sharing that they have an upcoming show or a live stream, most of the time, they just put the link up and that's it. And you'd be surprised. I reached out to almost 30, almost, I'm sorry. I reached out in the last 30 days. I reached out to almost 3,000 sellers here on Whatnot. And they'll share their shows with me. Hey, come, some of them will say, hey, come support me. Hey, come bookmark. But out of all the people who share their invitation with me, their with me, they just share the link. That doesn't tell me anything. That doesn't tell me what their show is about. That doesn't tell me anything about what products that they're offering. Okay. So I don't want you to fall into that trap of thinking, oh, just because there's a share link and I share the link, people are going to come. Okay. The first thing I would say is to start thinking about your live streams like they're little mini events, right? Which they are. Okay. Every time you go live, it's an event that you're having people interact with you in real time. Okay. You have viewers, they're watching you, you're, doing your show. And then this is so if you think about it like it's an event, okay, what do you do if you're promoting some type of event? Let's take the example of birthday, right? I love this example because it's really easy to understand. If your birthday's coming up and you want to invite people to your birthday, okay, do you invite them the day of, an hour before, and you say, hey, I'm having a birthday party tonight. Come join me. Do you think people would actually show up to your birthday party? Or most people who I see promote their birthday parties, if they want people to join them for their birthdays, they usually send an invitation, and it's usually maybe anywhere from a week to a month, sometimes even longer. Okay, hey, I need you to RSVP my birthday. I need to know if you're showing up. Why? Because you want to make sure you have enough hors d'oeuvres and things for everybody who's going to show up, right? And then once they RSVP, then your goal is to still to stay in communication because you're letting them know, oh, guess what I'm about to have at my party as well. I'm gonna have a bouncy house. Or I guess it depends on how old you are for your birthday. But yeah, I'm gonna have a clown. I'm gonna have a DJ, right? You're gonna tell them all the things that are happening in your upcoming event, which is we're talking about a birthday, right? Okay. And then what are you supposed to do when people show up, right? You welcome them. You say, hey, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here, right? If you think about your live streams as little events, you want to do the exact same thing. Okay. So don't fall into the trap of, here's my link. I'm going live tonight. Okay. You're not giving your viewers, your potential buyers, enough time to even register that you have an event. Here's another perspective. Okay, most people, okay, think about your day, what you have going on. You've got a routine, right? Some of you might be picking up the kids at a certain time. Some of you might have to go to work. Some of you might have to cook dinner at a certain time. Like there's a routine, right? And so if I call you out the blue and I say, hey, guess what? I am doing this event tonight and I want you to come support me tonight. You have to start, you're going to start thinking, wait a minute, wow, it's tonight. I would love to support you, but I've got to do this, I got to do that. I'll see if I can make it. And most of the time, you can't because you have other things that you already had planned for the day. Okay. That's exactly how think everybody else works. Okay. Your potential buyers, your potential viewers, the people you're sharing these links to. Okay. So if you're like, come join me tonight, chances are they're not going to join you. You didn't give them enough time to prepare, to schedule it, to even get excited about what it is. The second thing that I see, again, like people are just sharing a link. So you're not telling people what the event is about, right? So again, birthday example, it's my birthday is coming up and I want to invite you to my birthday party. And I send out an invitation and it's a white envelope with a white card and it just says, "You're invited, come join me." That's it. There's no date, there's no time, there's no nothing. You just get this envelope. You don't even really know who it's from because I didn't put my name on it. It just says, "You're invited, come join me." It's confusing. You're not giving your invitee, the person you're inviting, enough information as well. So again, if you think about your shows as little events, okay, do these steps. You got to let the person know the date, the time, when it's happening, why it's happening. Why do they even care, right? For the birthday example, it's my birthday. You know me, you got a relationship with me, you're my best friend, you're my bestie. I want you to come support. That's the reason. Okay, I want you to be there. What the reason for me is, again, this is a milestone for me, so I want you to be a part of my celebration. Okay, so you got to figure out what your reasoning is for your show and tell people about it, right? It could be I've had 1,000 followers and I'm doing 1,000 celebration for my 1,000 followers, or it could be we have this one of a kind event happening. We have it once a month, and we've got just anything you can, I don't know, whatever it is for your business. Okay, you got to make that special event, and then you've got to promote and tell people what it is. Why should they care? Why do they even need to join you? Because you might care. Just because you care, you understand what you offer, you understand your product, you understand when you go live. That doesn't mean just because you share a link, other people understand too. So give them as much information as you can when you're sharing the link. Get them excited to want to join, right? I get excited when I get a birthday invitation. It's like, ooh, whose birthday is it? Ah, what's happening? There's gonna be a DJ, there's gonna be food. Do I have to do I have to pay for anything? No, I just gotta show up. Okay, cool. Right? It's that same idea when you're promoting your shows, okay? Um, and also here's another tip when you are promoting your shows, okay? Try your best. Again, I see this so many times. Don't promote your show just a blast saying, "I'm going live tonight, come join me. I'm going live in a couple hours, or I'm live right now, come join me." That only works if you've already been promoting the show. If you do that and you haven't been promoting the show, so if you're about to go live and you're like, "Oh, I should have shared the show link," and then you share the show link and just say, "Hey, I'm going live in 10 minutes," obviously, I'm going to tell you right now, no one's going to show up. Okay. You have to put some thought into it beforehand. So you need to be talking about it beforehand. Hey, next week I have the show coming up. It's going to offer this, this, this. Please RSVP to my show, which would be what? Bookmark. Please bookmark my upcoming show and join me on that day. Don't forget to tell people to join you. You know how many people, this is a thing, people will do what you ask. Okay. So, you know how many people share the link for their show and just tell me to bookmark? I do that. So you might be getting hundreds of bookmarks for your show, but only 10 people show up. One of the reasons for that is that you're telling people just to bookmark the show. You're not telling people to also join you. Okay. So I'm just telling you this is what I've been seeing on average from different sellers. They're just sharing the link. They're not telling people what's going on with their shows. And if they do tell them what's going on with their shows, they're talking about this is happening tonight. You're not giving people enough time to even get excited, want to show up, right? And then the last thing again is just again the longer that I would give no less then 7 days promotion. Now, it's not for every show that you do that. There's a strategy behind it. Um, and if I have time at the end, I'll give you that strategy. Let me write that down. Strategy. I did it before in my last coaching. If by chance, for some reason, you're just joining me for the first time here, welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me, whether you're here on Whatnot, YouTube, or Facebook. But I live stream to YouTube. So if you missed any of the last coachings that I did already 2 weeks of coaching. You can go back, you can go to my YouTube channel at Lamore Fashions and watch the replays. Okay. So don't worry. You can always go back, okay? But I did mention before in a coaching session this strategy, so I'll mention it one more time to you for you guys. But I'll mention that towards the end. So make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do when we're talking about promoting your shows and how to get more viewers and buyers into your live stream. Okay. All right. So we just covered how to directly promote your shows, how to invite people in the right way. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is the importance of networking. Now, all of these things I'm sharing with you today, these are all ways to drive traffic to your shows organically. That means you're not paying for any boost. Okay. You're literally just putting in the work. If you put the work in, you'll get the results. Now, I also have seen people put the work in and they might not get the results right away and they get frustrated. I want to tell you, just want to give you this little side note, okay? You're putting in the work and it's not the first time you do it, it might not work the right way. You know why? Because you're new to it. You've got to learn the right ways to promote your show. So the very first time you do that, maybe you get one person in your show that wouldn't have joined before. But then if you do it again, the next time you promote, next time you might get three people. And then you do it again, the next time you might get four, right? It's a growth thing, but don't it's and it, but don't practice bad habits. Okay. So the more that you practice the right way to promote your shows, the easier it will get. And the more results that you'll see with your live stream, you'll start seeing more people engaging with these invitations. Thank you for inviting me. And then you can always ask, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining my show. Just let me know in the chat. Where are you joining me from? Are you joining me from Facebook? Are you joining me from YouTube? Are and then that way you're getting your people engaged and you get information as to, okay, they're joining me from Facebook. So I know that my social media posts are working. Or they're joining me from my last Whatnot show. So I know that what I said in my last show, I need to do it again. Right. Okay, so that was a little extra bonus. Okay. So this is the next thing I would say as far as how to get more viewers and buyers into your shows. People sleep on this. And not so much, I think it's not so much being sleeping on it. I think is there's a feeling of being uncomfortable. And I think that's why people don't do this next one as often as they should. So I call it networking. Okay. You're going to be networking on the platform that you sell on. Again, we're talking about Whatnot. I'm live on Whatnot. So let's talk about Whatnot. Okay. How do you network on Whatnot? You are going to hop into other sellers' shows and engage in the chat. Now, before you put that bridge up, just hear me out, okay? Because a lot of sellers, there's that uncomfortable, I just don't want to go in their show and start promoting myself. And which is that feeling that you have is exactly right. I don't want you to go into other sellers' shows and start promoting your show or promoting what you've got going on. Instead, how you're supposed to network, the right way to network, is you're hopping in their show, you're listening, you're watching what they're doing, you're looking at the chat, and you're seeing if you can talk to somebody. And if you can, you say, hey, what's up? Yeah, this show is so amazing. How long have you been watching the seller? Then the person's going to talk back to you and say, oh, I've been watching for a couple years. And do you sell on Whatnot? And you can say yes. And then they'll go to your profile, check you out. And guess what happens? They're going to follow you. And if you have any shows scheduled, they're going to bookmark your upcoming shows. You know how I know this works? Because it does. I've done it myself and it works every single time. It's a psychology thing. Okay. People get curious. It's a natural, it's by nature, right? Think about again, we're talking about this party. I give this example today. We're using the birthday party. So you're at my birthday party. You might know me, but you don't know the group of people that's over there, right? And so you start listening and you hear somebody that's over there talking and they're engaging and they're saying, hey, yeah, I love doing this and I love this party. This is a great party. And do you love to dance? And they're talking, right? Naturally, people will start to gravitate to that person because they become the what? The quote unquote life of the party, right? They're the ones who's talking, they're the ones who's lively, and they just seem very interesting. So people will go over just, hey, how are you doing? I want to meet you. What's going on? What do you do for a living? I'm just talking about in the physical world. This is my birthday. This is the example, right? Okay. That's what happens. The same thing happens in the digital world. So on Whatnot, you're going to be in this event, right? You're in somebody's showcase room, their event, and there's going to be people there that don't know you. So if you're talking in the chat, just being natural, don't be awkward and start promoting your shows. Because again, you're at my birthday party. You come to my party, and then you start talking about how your party starts in an hour. Come join me. It's, you know what? Don't That is a no, no. You know, if that was my party, you'd be kicked out. You're not coming to my party to steal my guests. What's going on? Okay. It's the same thing. So don't go into other seller shows with that intention of I'm coming in here because I see that they've got, you know, 100 people, 100 viewers. So let me come in here and start promoting my show. No, don't do that. You know what ends up happening to people who do that? They actually look more like spammers, people who are just they're just there for the money. It's not a good look. And then the psychology behind it is people will actually turn away from you. They're gonna most likely try to block you, or they might not even ever spoken to you, but because you're doing that, they're just like block that person. It's so there's an etiquette, okay? And that etiquette is just like how you would act at a birthday party. Do the same thing. You're hopping into the seller show. Just talk to the people in the chat. Hey, what's up? How long has this live been going on? Oh my goodness, I love these items. Wow, that's amazing. Or if somebody wins an auction, great pickup or congratulate. Like just do those things, and naturally people get interested to find out who is the one talking. They're going to click on your name, go to your profile, and again, make sure you have shows scheduled, at least three. I've said this in past coaching. I'm not going to go through it again right now, but that if you don't have at least three shows scheduled right now, you are missing out because what happens if you go and you're networking and then they hop in your show and they see you only have one show scheduled or no show scheduled, they might follow you, but you're missing out on bookmarks. They're probably not going to bookmark that one show because it almost makes you look like you're more of a buyer. You're just here for fun. You're not really serious. That's why I only have one show. I'm just kind of dabbling. I'm not serious about it. Did you like that voice? I don't like that voice. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. But it's more so, again, you want to have that stability. You want to look stable. You want to look like somebody who's going to be coming back to the platform over and over again. So at least have three shows scheduled. Now, when they go to your profile, they see the show scheduled and they're going to probably bookmark all three shows and follow you. Bam. You just got a new viewer and a new follower. Okay. So don't sleep on the fact that you can network on the platform. The whole okay. One another little bonus here. Okay, I said this earlier in the show, but if you don't if you don't look at your if you don't look at what you're doing on Whatnot as your business, okay, then you're already falling short. And when I say that, I mean when I ask sellers, what do they do for a living? Okay, just think about what your answer is. If somebody asks you what you do, what do you say? Most of the time. And I'm saying this from my perspective. I did this too. I did this for a long time, almost 2 years before it was like, wait a minute, what? I say I'm a whatnot seller or I sell on whatnot. Two things wrong with that. One, most people don't know what whatnot is. Just because you know, they don't know. Okay. Two, now when you say that, it sounds like you sell for the platform. So you're an employee. Are you an employee? I don't think so. You are a business owner. So think of it that way. You are a business owner and you use Whatnot to attract customers to your business so you can sell your products. Okay. Once you switch your mindset and start coming from the perspective of I'm a business owner who uses the platform to sell my business, you don't feel stuck. A lot of sellers tell me that they feel stuck. They feel like they're competing with other sellers on the platform. That's because you're you're categorizing your show yourself as a whatnot seller. So, yes, you're competing with all the other whatnot sellers on the platform. But once you understand you have your own business, you're no longer competing. Now you're focused on your business, what makes your business special, and why people should show up to your particular show. So, just because you might be selling a same product as somebody else that's on the platform, that doesn't mean that you're competing with them. You just sell the same product. You're completely two different businesses. Make sense? I hope so because this is huge. If you don't get that relation, it's like you might as well it's a hobby. If you don't start thinking from that perspective, you're going to be a hobby seller, which then you do fit under that category of I'm a whatnot seller because you might not even have your business registered. You might not be paying taxes on it. It's a different perspective, it's a different mindset. So you have to have that mindset. And not everybody has it. I just want you to be aware of that. So if you think you have it, okay, these are just some things I'm telling you that you just need to tweak, tighten up on. Because when you come from this perspective, you've actually got, what do you call it? You're a little bit ahead of the game, right? You could be a brand new seller, right? There might be two brand new sellers who they started the exact same day, but this one here has the mindset I'm talking about. They understand about promoting their shows, how to do it the right way. They understand about they're a business owner first, right? Whereas this one, they think they're a whatnot seller. This person, their show, they're gonna get more followers quicker, more buyers quicker. They're gonna build their community faster than this one. This person's gonna feel more stuck because they're looking at the person to their left and the person to their right who are more successful and they're trying to mimic. They're trying to do what that other person is doing, which now you're just copying someone else's business. You're not, so it's not gonna get you anywhere. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that you are finding value in what I am sharing with you today, friend. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you are here on Whatnot, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. If you are here on YouTube and you're watching, thank you so much for being here. I see you, friends. Getting a quick little shout out. I see you, Lasky and Isusis. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Isusus. I see you. And then I also see Musically Sound on Whatnot. Welcome, friend. I thank you so much for commenting, for being here, and for joining me today. I've got one more topic that we're going to touch on for today's coaching, and then I'll open up the floor for any questions that you guys might have. And I see you, Valerie. I see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining. All right. I love this. I get to I like this live streaming thing, and I'm going to touch on live streaming here shortly for you guys and how you do it. But it does just from the live. I'm right now in real time telling you about it. Um, it does feel like I'm reaching a lot more people quicker and easier. So I do like this live streaming. And on the line finds, yes, I hope you have an amazing day too, friend. Thank you for joining me, for being here. Shout out. I appreciate you all again for tuning in. All right, I've got one more thing to talk about before we open up the questions. English or Spanish. I have after once the show is once I'm done here and I put the replay up on YouTube, I will have subtitles and Spanish will be one of them. So you can always come back and watch later, okay? All right. Okay, so now we are going to talk on the last topic here of the show or for the coaching. And then right after this, I'll go into this strategy. Okay, this is something that you can do step by step. I'm about to walk you through it, and then we will open the floor for Q and A's. Okay. All right. So the last thing we are talking about today is expanding beyond whatnot. So a lot of sellers are telling me that at some point they feel like I'm reaching out on whatnot and there's nobody coming to my shows. How else do I promote my shows if I'm just sharing my link on social media and it's not okay? Which again, pulling from what I talked about earlier, first you got to treat your shows like they're events, make sure you're promoting the right time or promoting the right way. Then you want to make sure that you are networking to get people to your show, right? You're networking on the platform. The last step is now that you've done those things, I would suggest that you tap into multi streaming. So, what is that? Whatnot actually just came out with this feature. Like I said, I've been on the platform for over 3 years, and when I first started, they did not have this. So this was probably within the last year that they came out with a feature where you can multi-stream. And so, right before you go live, there's a little button, and it says multi-stream. You click on that, and then you can attach or connect your Facebook, your YouTube, and your Twitch. Okay. And then that's all you need to do is just connect your profiles, connect your accounts. And then once you do that, when you go and you hit the live button on Whatnot, you will be automatically live streaming to the other platforms at the exact same time. Okay. Um, yeah, okay, and yes, so here's the other thing as well. From my understanding, I don't think they have rolled it out to Android yet, but this is an iPhone thing as far as multi-streaming from your phone. You're not able to do it from a laptop or a desktop or a computer. This is only from a phone, and this is also only from an iPhone, okay? But my understanding is that they're working on the Android version. So I'm not sure if they've rolled out with Android yet. So if you have an Android and you're looking for this feature, multi-stream, and you don't see it, that's probably why. But they might have it. So just take a look and see. Okay. But that's all you would have to do is connect your profile. You're going to click the button to start your live show, go live, and then like I said, you'll be automatically live on YouTube or wherever you connect. So if you connect YouTube and Facebook, you'll be live on both. And that's exactly what I'm doing here today. Now, the thing about multi-streaming though, it can be a blessing and it can be a curse. I do not recommend live streaming or multi-streaming. Okay, let's talk about who I do recommend multi-streaming to, okay? If you've been a live seller for however many years, right? And you've been maybe on other platforms or you have a bigger following on social media, multi-stream because you're tapping into an audience that you already have already in social media, and now it's more so you're letting them know that you sell on Whatnot, so you're just driving them to your Whatnot shows. Okay, so if you're like that person I'm describing, then yes, please multi-stream. The other way is that you've already got some traction on Whatnot here, and now you're branching out to social media because now you're trying to grow your audience on social media. Okay, that's how you would multi-stream. But if you're new on Whatnot and you don't really have a following, and when I say a following, maybe like you only got 20 people. Okay, if you got more than, I would say if you got more than 50 people connected to your social media accounts, go ahead and multi-stream. Okay, but if you've got less than that, where there's not enough people who know you on social media, what ends up happening is now you're doing double the work because now you're not just building your Whatnot uh your Whatnot presence. Now you're also starting from scratch with building your social media presence. And there's things you have to learn about that platform as well, that even though you're multi-streaming, it still might not do you any good if you don't know these things about the platform. So that's my only little side note is if you're a brand new seller on Whatnot and you also don't have a big following on your social media platforms, then I don't suggest multi-streaming because now you're gonna feel a little overwhelmed because you're gonna have to put in twice the work. Okay. So this is more so you've already got a following somewhere, whether it's on Whatnot or Facebook or YouTube or all three, right? You're tapping into uh those areas. Okay. And then your goal now is while you're live streaming on Whatnot, you're inviting your viewers on the other social media platforms to come join you and shop with you on Whatnot. So people might be watching, like right now, I have people watching on Facebook. Again, I appreciate you, friend, and also watching on YouTube. Thanks for joining, guys. Thank you for being here. But if you wanted to, say I was running a giveaway on Whatnot, if you wanted to participate in the giveaway, there's a QR code that you can scan to hop into the show, right? Or there's a link in the description that you could click on to hop into the show. And if you're selling on Whatnot, that's what you want to direct your viewers to do. If you want to join me and bid on this item, or if you want to join me and participate in this giveaway, click the link, scan the QR code, and hop into the show. Also, what Whatnot does for you is if you are new to Whatnot, that link that they share gives them the coupon. So Whatnot allows you to share a coupon code to all your potential viewers, and it says, I believe now it's $10. So if you sign up with the link, they're going to get $10 to shop your store. So it's like there's an incentive, right? Hey, guess what? Click the link, scan the QR code, and if you're new to Whatnot, you'll get a coupon to shop my show right now. So come join in and take advantage of the offer, right? So this is just a way, this is a good way to incentivize the fact, or to attract people into your Whatnot shows and then direct them from there. Okay. And then from once you have them inside your show, okay, once you get people into your shows, welcome them, greet them. Thank you so much for joining me. Are you joining me from Facebook? Are you joining me from YouTube? Okay, welcome them in, make them feel great, make them feel special. But then the next part would be anybody who's in your show, you need to direct them to your next show. Meaning, thank you for being here, for joining me. This is what I sell, this is what I offer, and my upcoming show, we're having this exclusive, whatever that big show is, and then you direct them to to bookmark your show. And then so what ends up happening, it's a loop, right? You go live, you attract viewers, you tell them to come to your next show, and then during your next show, you do it again. You just keep going. Okay. The other part about this too is now the people who are hopping in your shows, or the people who are already watching, that's when you're telling people to tag their friends, share the show link. So that way now you're just getting a lot of engagement from the people already in your Whatnot shows, plus the people who are watching on other platforms, and you're bringing them into your shows. Make sense? I hope so. Okay. So, we're to a part in the show where normally I start the Q&A, but before I start the Q&A, I said earlier if you stay to the end of my coaching, I would give you the strategy again. Now, I've been going live on Whatnot for like 2 weeks now. Maybe three. So I did share the strategy before in a previous video. So if you missed that, you can go watch the replay on YouTube. Just it's at Lamore Fashions, and you can watch it there. They're all up already. The same thing with this one. If by chance you might have missed the beginning, go ahead and you'll be able to catch that on the replay at Lamore Fashions on YouTube. Now, this strategy. Okay. This is, to me, again, to me, it's like a no-brainer as far as I have the background of marketing, event planning, and entertainment. So when I started live selling, I saw these patterns and it was like, oh, this is what I need to do. But to most sellers that I share this with, they're like, I never thought of it that way. Wow. So you guys, if you've never thought of it this way, you're in for a treat, which we're going to see. Okay, so here we go. This is what I want you to do. This is a step by step. I'm going to see how quickly I can do this. We've got about 20, 30, something, about 30 minutes or so left of the show. So I'm going to try to do this quickly so we can still answer some questions. Okay, so here it is. And I'm not going to go too slow because, again, I did do a step by step breakdown in a coaching before. So you can go back and watch the replay, but I'm just going to give you the gist. All right. All right. You ready? Here we go. Now, first thing you're going to do is you're going to schedule a show. Okay. This show I would say, schedule the show at least a month out. Okay. So 30 days from now. If you want, you can do even 2 weeks. But again, anywhere between 2 weeks and a month is the sweet spot. Okay. So schedule that show. Make this show, give this show a theme. And I talked about what a theme is before in another coaching session, but just a theme is like, it could be a theme where you're doing, this is just a brand show. So I'm only showing Lucky Brand jeans for this show, or it could be only Louis Vuitton bags, or it could be a theme like that. It could be a theme where, hey, we've reached 1,000 followers, come celebrate with me, right? The theme is like I guess the reason or the purpose of the show, right? It's a theme. We're doing it because we're, you know, I hope that makes sense. And then okay, so we've got the theme, and then with each theme, or sorry, with this theme that you're creating for this one show, you're going to now create or think about your incentive. An incentive can be like dollar starts, low starts, giveaways. It could be something that you do with your viewers that they look forward to. So like maybe for me, one thing I for the all the way up until I just started this coaching session, nobody ever saw my face on Whatnot. I never showed my face. I was a jewelry seller, so you only got to see my hands. So maybe an incentive I could have done is, guess what? We're having an unmasking show, and you'll get to see my face for the very first time. So if you want to see my face, go ahead and bookmark this show, and I'm going to say hello. It's something that your viewers might not have gotten before, and now they get it, right? So it's sometimes it's not, it doesn't have to be a giveaway, sometimes it doesn't have to be a dollar start. It's something that's going to engage your viewers. But the better the incentive, the more likely that they're going to show up. Okay. So you've got your theme, you've got your incentive, you've got your scheduled show. Bam. Now that show is all the way out. Again, it's either 2 weeks or a month from now. What you're going to do now is, again, our goal is to promote that show. So just like I told you, you're going to go ahead and share that link for that show. You're going to go to your social media, but you're not going to share it and say, join me. Okay. You're going to tell people more so, I have this amazing event that's coming up. Tell them what it is, when it is, why you're having it, and why they should care. The reason of why they should care is the incentive, because I'm having this amazing show because I want to give you this whatever it is. There's going to be this amazing giveaway. There's going to be low starts. Whatever the incentive is for them to join, you're going to tell them what that is and ask them to bookmark and put the event on their calendar, like save the date. Okay. That's the first post that you would put up for that show that we're scheduling right now. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, that show is 30 days out. What am I supposed to do in between now and then? Between now and then, you're going to have your regular show. So you might go live once a week. You might go live two, three times, four, five, six, whatever times, however many times you go live a week. And every time during those shows, we'll call them mini events. Okay. Every time you go live during your mini events, you're going to talk about the bigger event that's happening at the end of the month or happening in 2 weeks. Okay. Make sure you go bookmark the show because I'm going to do having this event. It's a theme. Here's the theme. Here's the incentive. Bookmark the show and join me. Bookmark the show and save it on your calendar. Okay. You're going to be talking it up all the way into the day of the show. On social media, it's not just about promoting the link and saying, "Hey, join me for the show." You're now also going to talk about your business. So maybe today you share the link and say, "I'm having the show in 30 days." Bookmark, save the date. Then the next day, instead of talking about that show, you talk about your business, whatever that is. So for my jewelry business, I might showcase some of the jewelry that I have. Ooh, take a look at this gorgeous jewelry. Ooh. If you want it, come join me on Whatnot. And then you might share your profile link, not the show. The reasoning is you're trying to get people to understand your business better so they get excited for the show. Most people don't know what business you have. Just because you understand or doesn't mean that they get it. You might share the link and say, "Come join me because I have Lucky Brand jeans." I don't know, that brand is stuck in my head right now. Because I have Lucky Brand jeans. And then there might be people who see that and maybe don't know what Lucky Brand jeans are and never heard of it. Two, they're like, okay, so who cares that you've got Lucky Brand jeans? And right? You're not telling them that you're live streaming. You're not telling them this is a show that they can bid on the event and they can bid and win. Like they don't, there's a lot of people who don't know what Whatnot is. So when you're just sharing the link and say, come join me, it's true right over their head. They're like, okay, whatever. And then they keep scrolling. Your goal when you're posting on social media is to get people to stop scrolling to read your posts. The same is true for Whatnot. That's how you set up your show, your cover photo, right? There's a lot of different sellers, and most of the time there's people are scrolling, buyers are scrolling, and they're scrolling to find a show that catches their eye. So the better that you're at with your presentation as well and your reach outs, the more descriptive and detailed you are, the easier it is for them to, oh, I understand exactly what's happening. Let me do what they asked. Let me bookmark. Let me come check out their show. Okay. So this is a strategy where you're again, you're using you're having one main show as the anchor. And my strategy would be do this every month. So once a month, you have this big show, whatever you want it to be. It could be different every month. It could be the same type of event every month, but at least once a month. Or this is a strategy I'm saying, but you could do it. Maybe it's not once a month. Maybe it's every 2 months. Maybe it's every 6 months. Maybe it's only once a year. Whatever it is, okay? But for this strategy, I'm just saying, okay, let's do it once a month, okay? And every show up until that big show for the month, you're telling people to go bookmark that show. So your little mini shows, they might have 20 bookmarks, 50 bookmarks, even maybe 100 bookmarks. But that bigger show by the end of the month should have 300 bookmarks. Like whatever your little shows are, that bigger show should be triple the amount of bookmarks because you've been promoting it on Whatnot, you've been promoting it on social media, and if you're at that point where you can live stream, when you're live streaming, you're talking about it. So even if they're not on Whatnot, they might have watched you on Facebook or on YouTube, clicked the link, and then actually went and bookmarked your show. And now you didn't even know it. Right. So this is the strategy that I would say if you can put this into practice, you're going to have a lot more results. Now, again, like I said, maybe the first time you do it, it's a little wobbly because again, you've never done it before. So when you first do it, you're probably going to be second guessing. Oh, what kind of theme? Oh, what kind of incentive? Or I don't know, this might not work. It's okay. The whole goal is to try it out and test run. That's why I said maybe in the beginning you do it once a month because now this month you might try it out and you see, okay, I got some traction, but I didn't like the way I did this, or this felt a little weird, or some of my customers or viewers said they didn't understand this. So now when you do it again, the next month, you fix those things and then you do it again, you try it, and you do it again, you try it. And then by the time you do it, at least, for 6 months, now you've got this repetition. You've not just repetition for yourself, but now your viewers are in a routine with you. And now they're going to keep showing up. Your shows is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But again, this also plays into the role of consistency. I know I've said it before. Everybody's like, why? I keep hearing about being consistent and I'm tired of being consistent. Consistent doesn't work. It does work, it just works slow. So I just want you to understand that too, okay? Nothing happens overnight. The things that you want most in life don't come easy. These are, if it came easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay. This is something that you've got to build over time. I've seen sellers where they're starting to get that traction, but because they don't, the traction isn't what they think success is or what they think in their head, they quit right before it's about to break through. And it's like, no, don't do that. Keep going. Okay. So I just want to let you know as far as my journey, again, I've been on on Whatnot itself for over 3.5 years. And my first year, let's not say my first year, my first 3 months, it was like I man, I don't even know why I continued. It was like, yes, I was getting a couple sales. My first 3 shows, I made nothing. Absolutely nothing. I went live. I was talking for 4 hours each time. I felt like, oh my gosh, what am I felt it was, I felt a little defeated, but I was also, my mind, I was determined because it was like, I see other people doing it. Something's got to click. What is it? So I kept going. By my fourth show, I think I made 50 something, but or 40 something. I forget what it was. It was something that was like, it wasn't a lot, but man, it was, I think I was like crying tears of joy. I was like, I did. I was so excited. But for the first 3 months, it wasn't, it was like I said, $40 here, maybe $100. It wasn't, there was no traction. Then within the 6 month, it was like, then I started figuring out my format. And it's like, okay, I started getting more regular viewers and things like that. And the sales were growing, but it was still like, I know it could be better, right? Within a year, I want to say around a year, that's when I really feel like I found my flow. That's really when I felt like, okay, sales are picking up. My second year of selling was well, it's not quite second. It was like my between, I want to say the first 18 months was like my groundwork, my foundation, figuring out what my shows were, figuring out just everything about my business while I'm live selling. After that 18 months, that next period, that was like, pew, my growth. For those of you I told before, I was making close to $100,000 a year with that. And that growth, that next year, pew, it just took off. And I was like, what? And it was working. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, so excited. So it takes time. My first thought when I joined the platform was more like, okay, I'm gonna make a sale this weekend because I see other people doing it. And then the weekend came and went, and I'm like, the whole time, the whole journey, it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot more downs than ups. When I say downs, I was frustrated, crying. I remember there was times where I was crying. I was like, I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I was struggling. I just felt defeated. And then there was times where I'm getting ready to go live and it felt like a chore. Like, oh, okay, I have this show scheduled. I got to do it. It's like, I'm about to go live. Let me, it started feeling like, why am I even doing this? And I want to say there was a moment where I even said, maybe I'll just go get a job. Because this was my only thing. I wasn't doing anything else. I was just live selling. And it was right at that moment when I start thinking about maybe I just get a job. That's when it was like, "Ew." And I was like, yes, yeah. It's like, think about when you're on the roller coaster, right? You're going real slow. You're going really slow up that hill. And it's like, oh my God, can we get just to the top already? First of all, I don't like roller coasters. So that is like torture to me. You're climbing and just like getting higher, higher, higher. And then they stop you, right? That's when you almost feel like you're flatlining as a seller. You're like, I don't know what it is. I can't get, I don't know what it is. And you get to that point, and like on a roller coaster, that's when you get a chance to look out across everywhere and you see, figure out how high you are, and your heart starts to beat real quick. And you're like, oh my God. And then what happens? They drop you. Pshoo! And when that happens in the live selling world, that's when that growth, it like, it just comes so quickly that you don't even realize it's happening. It just happens. And then when you look back, you're like, dang, I did that. It's like pew. And then you got to go back up again. So it does, you'll eventually get past it. But if you don't figure out the foundations, the groundwork, the good habits that actually turn into results, you're gonna be on that hamster wheel, running, 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 feeling like you're making work or things happen, and you're putting work in, but you're not really gonna be going anywhere. So that's the strategy. Okay. I hope that helped you a little bit as far as giving you an idea on how you should be promoting and hopefully getting some viewers into your live shows organically without having to boost or anything like that. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the floor up for some questions. And we do have a little bit of time. So if anybody is interested and you are on Whatnot, go ahead in the chat. You can tell me you would like to be in the hot seat. You can say, I'd like one, me. And I will pull you up on stage, and then on camera, I'll talk to you and check out your profile and give you a deep dive. If not, if you're not able to do that, go ahead and ask a question in the chat, and I will answer it for you. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and ask your question in the chat and I will answer it for you, okay? So go ahead right now. I am doing a Q&A, and we'll leave that Q&A open for a brief moment. So go ahead. Now's the time. Answer? No, I'll answer your question. Go ahead and drop the questions in the chat. Or again, if you're on Whatnot and you want to take the opportunity for the deep dive, go ahead and I will pull you on camera and give you some advice. Okay. So, again, today's show or today's coaching, we talked about how to get more viewers into your live shows. We talked about the main point or the main reason for this topic today was just to show you how to drive more traffic to your live shows without feeling like I'm just hoping. I'm just gonna go live and hope somebody shows up. Okay. Usually, again, the people who are hoping that something happens, they're not going to see the results as quickly as somebody who's actually putting the work in. So now that you know what that work is, hopefully you can start getting some traction on your own shows. The other thing we talked about was networking and the importance of networking, why you should be networking on the platforms that you're on. So if you're on Whatnot, network by hopping into other seller shows. If you are going live on Facebook, it would probably be good if you see someone else going live, hop in on their live stream, comment on their comments. It works no matter what platform you're on. This is what I'm telling you is a blueprint as far as promotions and reaching out. You can do that on any platform. Any platform that goes live, you can do that. Okay. So you're hopping into other people's shows or live streams, asking questions or just engaging. The people who are watching those live streams will now tap into your profile. It's a good way of using other people's audiences to to tap into, right? You see a big audience and it's kind of like, okay, well, here I am and I'm so glad to be here. And then people are going to be interested on, well, who are you? What tell us about yourself? And then you'll be able to tell them. And then now all those people, those well, not all of them, but a lot of them will check out your profile and get to learn more about what you have to offer. So make sure your profile is set up, okay? And when I say set up, a good bio that tells people who you help and what you sell, a profile picture that is professional in some kind of way, right? I've seen people who use for their stores, their profile pictures, they might sell like luxury bags, but their profile picture is like their family on a beach, which if you can tie in that to your business, then more power to you. But if a customer goes to your page and it looks more personal, then it does that they're going to be shopping with you. You might be missing out on some sales. So even if you have a picture of yourself or your family or whatever, is it in a is it in the perspective of, you know, a business or is it more from the perspective of personal? Okay. So think about that when you're setting up your profile. The last thing again I talked about was multi-streaming and when and why you should multi-stream when you're on Whatnots. But you can multi-stream again on other platforms as well. So Facebook allows you to multi-stream, YouTube allows you to multi-stream. And sometimes you might have to for those platforms you might have to use a program. There's a program called Restream, so you can use that to stream on all these other platforms, but Whatnot has it built in so you just can tap into Facebook and YouTube. If by chance you want to say live stream to somewhere else that doesn't have that's not connected to Whatnot, again, that's when you would tap into that program and you can still live stream. You just got to set it up another way. That's all. Okay, so I'm looking to see if I see any questions. I haven't seen any questions, so I'm going to take it that there are no questions. I guess a couple more minutes here. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask it. You can go ahead and drop it in the chat, whether you're on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Whatnot. And then make sure if you are on Whatnot, you can go ahead and bookmark our next coaching session. I only have, I think, two or three left, and then I'm not doing this anymore on Whatnot. So if you're here watching now, I appreciate you, but this was just a series, a short series that we're doing for the month of May. So tap in while you can and get as much information as you uh, can for your business. Last thing I want to say is um, I do have a Facebook group that you can join that we can stay connected and you can continue to get daily advice and tips and other opportunities to help you grow. If you're not already part of the group, go ahead and join it. It's a Facebook group called Go Live and Grow. Go live and grow. You can go ahead and search that now. And if you join, I'll go ahead and approve you into the group. All right. And then that way, it's been growing. I can't believe it. We have almost 500 people in the group right now. I think we're a couple people short of 500. That's going to be exciting. But if you have not joined the group yet, go ahead, look it up. It is Go Live and Grow. It's on Facebook. Search it. Okay, you join it, and then I'll approve you into the Facebook group. Because there's a lot of opportunities coming up there. The next thing I'll be doing is this week we have interviews. So I interview live sellers. They get to tell their story, and we put the spotlight on them. So also, if you're interested in a spotlight, go ahead and go ahead and join the Facebook group because that's where I usually tell everybody. I do my signups is in the Facebook group, so might as well just get you there. So again, it is Go Live and Grow. Go live and grow. That is the Facebook group. You're going to go ahead and search that in on Facebook and then go ahead and join and then I'll approve you shortly. Okay. What's up, Cresso? I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome back. I am in it's Q&A time. You're just in time. If you have a question, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat. Or I'm also offering up one more time. If you want to do a hot seat, you can do that where I will do a deep dive onto your profile. You just come on camera. We're going to have a quick little conversation and hopefully I can help you that way. But if you can't do that, you can just ask the question in the chat and I'll answer that for you. Okay. You sold, you sold yesterday's dress. Now I can't find it. Oh, you mean like you were live streaming, you sold a dress and you might have accidentally sold it already before? Oh, okay. Yes, you can cancel it, but I think you're gonna have to reach out to Whatnot about that because they don't really like you canceling. So I think you have to just reach out to them and say, this item, just tell them what happened. This item was sold already and I didn't realize it and it's sold again. So I need to cancel this. But before you do, reach out to your buyer first. They might no, I think you get like the first one will be like a warning because you've never done it before. But if it was something where you're doing it like all the time, then yeah. Okay. Well, as long it's fine if she's not answering, as long as you made the attempt and you reached out to her first. Now you're gonna go to Whatnot and you're gonna reach out to them and tell them, oh, well, how long though? This is your second one. How long? When was the last one? I guess it doesn't matter because you still have to fix it anyways. Um, but reach out to the buyer first. Okay. So reach out to the buyer first. Reach out to the buyer first, and you already did that. So you're good on that end. And then now when you reach out to Whatnot, let them know that you reached out to the buyer and you are going to have to cancel their order. I think you can actually just cancel their order in the seller hub itself. Wow, I haven't canceled an order in a very long time. So I'm just double checking real quick to see where. So if and I don't even have an order to, I wish I had an order that I could even try to cancel, but let me see actions. So it allows you to, I want to say I want to say that they allow you to do it through the seller hub. So I would look there first before reaching out to Whatnot because I wouldn't want to like raise the red flags, right? It's more so if you can handle it by yourself, handle it by yourself first. But then if you find like, okay, for some reason you can't figure that out, then reach out to Whatnot. Yay! Congratulations. That's so good. That's good. So that's what happened. I think maybe you sold so many items that you forgot to take the listing down or whatever it was. But it's okay. It's all fixable. It's a learning lesson. Even if the worst case scenario, and I'll tell you the worst case, but I don't think you're at the worst case. Okay. Worst case scenario, you get a suspension and you're suspended for like 3 days or something, or maybe a week. That's the worst. That's like worst case scenario. I don't think they kick you off. Like, I don't think you get kicked off. And I don't even think you get suspended. What I think is going to happen is they're going to probably tell you again, you need to be careful and just, because you're, again, your pros outweigh your cons. So I don't think there's going to be any reprimanding. But if I was Whatnot and then this happened again, then yeah, I would have to. It's like I understand if at that point it's like, okay, so you're on your what second strike? It's okay. It's okay. Woo-saw, you'll be all right. Okay. And it is hard. Yes. One thing I would say is that can keep sellers feeling like they are confused and it's the inventory. It's having a good inventory system. It's understanding where things are. I'm not sure where, like, what do you sell again? Is it clothing? Okay, so with clothing, yeah, I think hold on. With clothing, what I was doing, because I've sold some, I've been a reseller. I've been just doing all types of. I've been a reseller since 2018, but I've been live selling since 3.5 years, whatever that is. When I was selling clothes, what I would do is I had the bin system. I don't know if you put yours in bins, but I had bins, and so what I would do is I have okay. So what I would do is I would have just short example. I have three bins: bin A, bin B, bin C, and I would label those bins A, B, C. And then inside the bins I would organize the items as well, so I wouldn't just put the clothes in the bin. I had these I would fold the clothes up and put them in plastic protectors and then make a little number for the clothes. So it might be clothes item number 100, but it's in bin A. Close number 102, but it's in bin A. Right. Okay. So, well, not so much because if you already have everything listed, then all you're doing is you're prepping your show for the day. So, if you're a boutique, even if you're a boutique owner, okay. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, okay? So if you're a boutique owner or even if you have pre-lift, whatever the situation is, if you're selling clothes, what you want to do is you want to make sure that um you have the bin system, but for every show, you're not selling everything. You're curating for each show. So you might have 1,000 items in all the bins and you have those all listed in your store. But so for this show number one, you're going to go in, I don't know, example, go in bin A and only pull from bin A. Everything else is in the store. So if anybody wants to buy anything else, take a look at the store and shop there. But for this show, I'm only auctioning what's in this bin. So now it's easier for you to keep track because now you're only selling what you're showing for that show. And then at the end of the show, you just pull what's sold and put everything else back in that bin. And then next show is bin B. And then next show is, or you can pull from all the bins, whatever. I have this item, I have this item. And then when you're done with your show, you take out what's sold and then put everything else back in the bin. That helps you a little bit as far as now you're selling like in groups or in collections instead of just saying I have this entire store and then now everybody is it's like free for all, right? I would put your shows more like shop my collection during the show, shop whatever the collection is during my show, and if you want to purchase anything else I got, go into the store and buy it like not full price, but I'm not auctioning them off. You missed that opportunity to purchase it as an auction. If you want to, if these items that you see, I might auction them off again in a future show, but you got a bookmark, right? Now you've got incentive. You got people, okay, like maybe they're going to wait for you to auction off, or maybe they want to grab it before it gets auctioned off. So maybe you have a special, like in my live shows, anything that's listed, I'm doing a flash sale, or you can use the coupon code and buy something in my store. Like there's all different types of ways that you can still get people directed to shop your store while you're uh, live auctioning. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit because it's more so if you set up a system for each show, you have more control than if you just tell everybody, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. What do you want? Right? It's more so I have a whole bunch of stuff from my collection today. What do you want? Okay, so hopefully that does help. Okay, good. Now, I did see somebody say something about what was it? Okay, what do you do about taxes? Now, as far as taxes go, I I don't like giving tax advice or financial advice when it comes to that because, I don't want you told me. But what I would say is um the gist as far as my books go, I keep track of what I sell, my cost. So I keep track of what it cost me to get all the stuff. I keep track of what's sold. So after every show, you get a report, right? So I look at that report and I look at what's sold. I look at how many, what was for shipping, and it usually tells me something else. I can't remember what it is, something else. And I take those numbers, and then now when it's time to do my taxes, I'm using those numbers to generate my profits, my loss. And then I take those numbers and I take it to my tax specialist and then do that. But that's the gist as far as the details. Like I go and I get this paper. Like I couldn't I'm that out of everything, that's probably like the thing I need to work on the most as far as I every year for me, it feels like I'm starting over for the first time. I haven't got into a routine yet as far as this is what I do every single year for my taxes. But the gist of what I do is that it's the bookkeeping part. I keep track of every time I have a show and they give me the report. They usually email you a report. I print that report out and then I'm very organized. My mindset is like I can't operate when things are all discombobulated, but I'm also very discombobulated. It's my own like I can I can stay organized in my own mess kind of thing. But when it comes to like paperwork, it's like I can maybe over organize. I don't know. I print out the paper, I write it down on another in a book, and then I organize it by the month as well. So I'll say, okay, in the month of May, and I print out all my reports, and I say in the month of May, and then I add up all my numbers. This is what I did. And then so now at the end, I can go back and say, okay, the month of May was good, or month of May, oh my goodness, what happened? You know? So yeah. If you have different items of clothes and sizes, how many items would you say would be a good number for a show? Um, you are very welcome. So the question that I just got was if you have different items of clothes and sizes, if you have different items of clothes and sizes, how many items would you say would be a good number for a show? Now, this is not a trick question, but this question has like layers, like as far as the answer goes. So I'm trying to give you the easiest answer, but my suggestion would be um right, right, with the collections. And I agree. It's just that who I talked about this in another coaching before, but the I don't know if you were here for this, but the idea is you have to understand who your ideal customer is. Okay? So, is your ideal customer a size large, a size medium, a size small, extra large? Are they plus size? Like what is your ideal customer size? That's the size that you need to have the most of because that's the person who's going to be shopping your store the most. All the other sizes you might show them in your showcase, maybe a couple sizes here and there, but the majority of the other sizes they're listed in your store. So if anybody else comes to shop and they're not your ideal customer, you just direct them to the store, but you want to show your ideal customer everything live, right? So you got to that's why I said it's like you would have to know your ideal customer. What is their what is the sizes that they're looking for, right? So from that perspective, again, now here's the other part to it. How long is your show, right? What is the format of your show? If your show is just auction based and that's it, and then your show is about an hour long, you might only have 30 items listed. You might only have time to go through 30 items in an hour. And when I say go through 30 items, this is the other part too that a lot of sellers don't do. You're going to go through all the items one by one, and then, so say you have 30 items, okay? You're gonna go through 1 through 30. When you're done from 1 through 30, start over at 1 and then go through 30 again. That should be a 1 hour show. The reason you do that is because the people come on the platform in waves, okay? So at 1 o'clock, there might be a whole bunch of people here, and then by 1:15, 1:30, they're all gone. They got things to do. They're not shopping on whatnot no more. But guess what? A new group of people just hopped on the platform around 1:30,